It was a chilly autumn evening in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The sun had set, casting a veil of darkness over the city. The rustling of leaves echoed eerily as I strolled through the dimly lit streets, searching for my next victim. My name is Jeffery Dahmer, and I've always been a loner. From a young age, I felt disconnected from people, like an outcast. My parents' troubled marriage and my mother's mental health issues only intensified my isolation. I found solace in my fascination with the macabre, particularly dissecting and preserving dead animals. As I grew older, this twisted obsession morphed into something far more sinister. I had the misfortune of a tortured upbringing, which shaped me into the monster I am today. I've taken the lives of 17 young men, but tonight, I'm hunting for my next prey. I need the ultimate control, and the only way to achieve it is by taking another person's life. I crave the power, the intimacy, and the feeling of being a god. Do you want to know how I'll do it? Can you bear witness to the unspeakable acts I'm about to commit? Keep listening. I'll show you the terrifying depths of my depravity. I walked into a local bar, scanning the dimly lit room for someone who caught my eye. The scent of cheap beer and cigarette smoke filled my nostrils, only heightening my anticipation. I spotted him, a young man sitting alone at the bar, sipping his drink with a melancholy expression. I approached him, feeling the adrenaline surging through my veins. Our eyes locked, and I could sense his vulnerability. I introduced myself and offered to buy him a drink, to which he agreed. We exchanged pleasantries, but I could feel the dark intentions simmering beneath my facade. I was plotting every step, meticulously calculating how to lure him back to my apartment. As the night wore on, we built a false sense of trust. I could see him becoming more comfortable in my presence. As I suggested we head back to my place for another drink, he agreed without hesitation. Little did he know, his fate was sealed the moment he agreed to accompany me. We arrived at my apartment, the air thick with tension. I could feel my heart pounding in my chest as I led him inside. The dimly lit living room was cluttered with random items, casting eerie shadows on the walls. I offered him a drink, and as he sipped it, I could see the drowsiness beginning to take over. I had spiked his drink with sleeping pills, ensuring his compliance. Within minutes, he was unconscious, sprawled out on the floor like a rag doll. My excitement reached its peak, and I wasted no time in securing him to my makeshift operating table. The cold, metal restraints dug into his flesh as I tightened them around his wrists and ankles. His vulnerability intoxicated me, and I relished in the power that I had over him. It was time to begin my sinister work. With my captive secured, I selected my instruments with care. The glint of the scalpel underneath the dim light sent shivers down my spine. I felt an insatiable hunger, a craving that could only be satisfied through the pain I was about to inflict. As I made my first incision, I felt a perverse sense of elation, the sensation of the blade slicing through his flesh, the warm blood pooling beneath my finger. It was all so intoxicating. I reveled in his pain and vulnerability, feeling a thrill that words cannot adequately describe. My hands moved with purpose, skillfully dissecting his body. I felt like an artist, crafting a macabre masterpiece. The smell of blood and the grotesque sight of his exposed innards only fueled my desire to continue my heinous acts. My victim's lifeless body lay before me, a testament to the monstrous deeds I had committed. The room was silent, save for the erratic beating of my heart. The weight of my actions began to sink in, and I was both repulsed and enthralled by my own depravity. I began the gruesome task of dismembering the body, methodically severing each limb and organ with surgical precision. The sound of bone cracking and the wet thud of severed flesh hitting the floor filled the room, sending a shiver down my spine. The sights and smells were overwhelming to me. I couldn't wait any longer. I had to have a taste. I savored the flavor. It was unlike anything I'd ever tasted before. I packaged what I could, put it in my fridge. A delicious meal for later. In July 1991, my reign of terror came to an end. A potential victim managed to escape, leading the authorities straight to my doorstep. They discovered the gruesome remnants of my crimes, including the dismembered body parts and evidence of cannibalism, which confirmed the extent of my monstrosity. As I sat in my prison cell, I couldn't escape the weight of my actions. The lives I had taken, the pain I had caused, and the unspeakable acts of cannibalism would haunt me forever. My twisted desires had led me down a dark path. In 1994, I met my own gruesome end at the hands of a fellow inmate, leaving behind a legacy of terror, pain, and unfathomable evil.